Patrons of commercial vehicles will from Monday, February 8th, suffer the anger of road transport operators in the country who have declared a nationwide strike.
We are on it. It's like a timing bomb, so they should be aware.
I have invited you here to announce a nationwide strike on Monday, February 8, 2016.
The Commuter Drivers Association is striking for 1 day to protest a 500% payment, which they describe as bad faith, especially as they were not involved in the new negotiations.
Instead of applying the agreed increment rate of between 240 and 260%, the GIA has this year rather increased the 400 premium rate to 500.
You'll recall that the Ghana Insurance Association and the Finance Ministry agreed on a 250 to 260% increase in motor insurance premium last year. This was after a proposed 400% increment was rejected by the drivers, who were then paying 150%. It is now clear that drivers certainly are paying 500% instead of the proposed increment. So why is the Insurers Association not charging the agreed 250 to 260%? If the strike comes off, what could be the economic implications on the country? What is the Ministry of Finance doing about this? This is today's big story. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The Commuter Drivers Association says nothing will make them change their mind unless the 500% payment is reversed.
We, the undersigned, who are senior executives and representatives of the road transport operation nationwide, have invited you here to announce a nationwide strike on Monday, February 8, 2016. This impending action has become necessary following the many recent increase in road transport related charges and the failure of the relevant state institution to listen to our cry for a reduction. Instead of applying the agreed increment rate of between 240 and 260%, the GIA has this year rather increased the 400 premium rate to 500. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not good or is distasteful, and it is an act in bad faith by the GIA. We have at this press conference given GIA, National Insurance Commission, and the Ministry of Transport 2 days within which to reduce the motor insurance premium rate to agreed percentage of between 240 and 260. Failure to do so will result in a call to all members of the GPITU, Ghana Commuter Drivers Association, and GTRCC nationwide to position themselves for a total strike action on Monday, February 8, 2016, to register our anger, at which we consider a needless act of bad faith by the GIA, an act of insensitivity by the National Insurance Commission and the Ministry of Road Transport.
They are worried their strike will not augur well for their patrons, but have no option to press home their demand.
Now there is no work. When you can come to the work, you can't get the money. How can you get the money, go and pay the insurance? So you affect us. You know, insurance was 1 year, 1 year. You paid 1 year. So last year when I paid, it was 160 or 170. Now when I'm going to pay another, they say it's 390 Ghana cedis.
And you want to declare a strike if your concerns are not addressed. How will that solve the problem?
Well, the problem will solve with the ministers and then the insurance company, because we told them last time when it come to the strike 1 time ago, they call us and sit down that they will see how to do with insurance, or they reduce the price. Up to now they didn't say anything about it again. So you are waiting them to reduce the price. If the price is supposed to be reduced, I'm not sure the strike will come on.
Even when the accident happened, before you get your claim, the agony that you go through, it's a lot of problem. Go and come. The money, as our spokesman has already indicated earlier on, go and come. For all you know, the money that you have even spent is more than the claim that you are going to take from the deal. So it's an affecting us a lot. We can't afford it. We can't afford it.
But you've been told to pay. So what are you going to do? Do you think the strike will solve this problem?
But I mean, the strike will solve the problem.
It's a one-day strike.
It's a one-day strike. But if this problem is not solved, we will know what the next step that we will take. We know what to do.
Usually when you embark on such sit-down strikes, you are the one who lose because you are the one picking the passengers to get the monies. So isn't there another way you could have gone around it without necessarily laying down your tools, which is driving passengers around?
Oh, probably it is we that normally lose, but it is better for me to lose one day sales than to solve the problem. You understand? So it's better the problem to be solved for me to say, oh, because I'm going to lose one day sales, I will not sit down the strike. Because when we sit down, they will know that we are serious.
The association is threatening it will from its own insurance if their request for reduction does not yield positive results.
They don't think about us. We will think of ourselves. We are paying school fees. It's being increased. For instance, if utilities is being increased, water, rent, everything is going up. Even the paste that we use is gone up. So how can we live? How can the drivers and the car owners live? Now you say we should pay insurance we are not going to allow them, my sister. It will never.
And how do you think just a day strike is going to resolve all of this?
This strike is to the insurance commission, and they will definitely reduce it. If they will not reduce it, we drivers will form our own insurance. That's what we want to tell them. We are going to form our own insurance.
You're sure about that?
I'm very sure.
That's after the day strike on February 8th.
We are going to, madam, we are going to register our own insurance. So that's the signal I'm telling them. We will do it. I'm not someone who will say something which I will not do. We are on it. It's like a timing bomb. So they should be aware.
Let's now do some analysis. And with me in the studio is Charles Danso. He's chairman of the association. Good evening to you, and thanks for joining us on today's Big Story. Good evening, madam. Charles, have you considered the danger in what you want to do on Monday?
There's no danger. There's no danger.
Why is there no danger? Because if you want to stop, you're going on strike, and people are not going to have vehicles to go and do their normal activities. You think it's not dangerous for your patrons?
You see, if there will be a danger, it will come from the Insurance Commission and the Insurance Association.
How do they come in here? Because if you go on strike, people will not have vehicles to travel to and fro their workplaces and to do their normal activities. So it means that it's dangerous for your patrons, the clients who patronize your service. Are you not worried that it will affect those people?
Anyway, it's now that you are saying that I know that it is going to cause danger to other people.
But you don't know it will cause danger to those people?
I don't know yet.
If you go on strike, you don't know that it will affect your patrons?
Because my dear sister, it's hard time for drivers now. You see, every time negotiations, come and sit down, round table. Now, the round table doesn't work. I have in my hand these papers. It's a minute and a letter from the Transport Ministry.
Right.
Just on Wednesday, 2nd September 2015, we held a meeting at the Transport Ministry on the same issue of this insurance.
Right.
We were supposed to charge 240% to 260%, but they are charging over. You see, over 400 that time.
You see?
Right.
And when we woke up last January, they've increased it again.
What was the negotiation between you and the insurers? You are talking about 240 to 260%, but what negotiation has been going on between you and them?
There's no negotiation. You see, they are selling the insurance and we are buying it.
Right.
You see? So when you go there, what you hear that we've increased it. We've increased it. So no negotiations anymore.
Okay. But you guys are now charging very high cost for transportation. So how is this affecting you?
Who is charging high?
Just 3 days ago, or yesterday, we heard that there's been 15% increase in
15%
transport
is not
fares,
high.
but it's also an increment. So
if it is an increment, then you have to ask the MPA. They increase the fuel whilst on the foreign market is reducing.
Right.
So you have to ask them. You see, just January, they increased fuel.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
It took 1 month before drivers increased their fare.
Okay.
So we haven't done anything
Well,
wrong.
we know the argument between the NPA and the increment, that the NPA is not happy with the 15%. But let me go on the phone line and speak with an insurance consultant, is Edgar Uredu. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on today's big story.
Good evening.
Last year, there was an agreement, but that seemed to have changed based on the claims of these drivers. Do you know what happened?
Could you please clarify the position? What do you mean by there was an agreement that it is to apply?
We are told there was an agreement to charge between 240 to 260%, but now the drivers are claiming they're charging almost 500% increment on the insurance. Do you know what has happened to bring about this change?
Well, unfortunately, there was nothing like charging 240 to 250%.
What was the situation?
What actually happened is initially we were supposed to charge a certain figure. And as we went into so many consultations, we came to a conclusion that from July to December, we are going to charge 50% of that figure. Then January this year to December, we are going to charge 25% of that figure.
Right.
And then come 2017, we'll charge 25%. Then we'll get 100% that we requested for. That is the agreement we have with the recognized body.
So if I understand what you're saying, it means you are not charging 500% now, or what is the situation? What's the ideal situation now?
We are not charging 500%. Depending on the use of the use which a particular put to, then we have them graduated. But from what I can say offhand, none of the figures is beyond 60%. And most important, even the increase that we're talking about is solely for vehicles that are coming into the system for the very first time. That is cars that are going to take the insurance for the very first time.
Right.
All the cars that are already in the system are enjoying a certain level of discount or rebate.
Okay.
So it even reduces their premium further.
Okay. So this time, if you're doing comprehensive, how much are you supposed to pay? And if you're doing third party, how much are you supposed to pay? Let's do some calculation here.
Well, first of all, comprehensive, the main determining factor is based on the value of the vehicle.
Okay.
That is the determining factor. So it is not as if it is a straightforward figure.
Let's use a normal taxi cab. For instance, if it's a Toyota or maybe a Kia.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's based on the value. The value is what becomes the determining factor.
Right.
Okay. But then if you're talking about third party, the rates are flat. Okay.
How much is that now?
I can give you that of the taxi. The taxi is 170. That is for a new taxi, not all the taxis are existing.
Okay.
Okay. The taxi is 470 now.
470. It used to be how much before this increment?
Before the increment, it used to be 357.
357.
Yes.
And now it's 470.
So, I mean, I don't see how you can tell me that this is 500%.
So how many percent are we talking about now, if not the 500%?
That's about 30-something%, about 32%.
About 32%.
Yeah.
It looks to me that this strike that the drivers are looking forward to going on Monday will not augur well, especially for people who patronize these commercial vehicles for their normal activity. So, and I think that probably there could be some negotiation and then to resolve this issue. Have we passed that stage, or we still have some opportunity to avert the strike?
No, the problem I'm having is that yes, of course. As I said, we had agreed as at last year, somewhere around, I think it was between May and June, that we are going back and forth with this kind of negotiations, right?
Yeah, yes.
And we came to a figure that this is how we are going to implement the figure. We met with Protoa, the GPRTU, name them, about 5 groups or so. We met with them. So if there is some sort of, personally, we are sort of puzzled, because it's like we have agreed on something. Now, the next thing is this, that maybe we need to sit down with them again and find out, because talking about 500%, I don't know where they are picking their figures from. So probably maybe we need to see what figures they are, quoting. Then we also put the figures we have on the table for we to see if there are some discrepancies.
But was there a conclusion with your negotiation with them?
Exactly so. As I said, we met with about 5 bodies. The GPRTU was there, the Protoa people was there. I can't really remember, but I think there were about 5 bodies. And this matter was concluded.
And it was agreed that they should be charged.
Before we started implementing this thing, I think it was on 2nd July or 3rd July 2015.
Right. And so you concluded that they should be charged 32% more?
My dear, what I'm saying is that we had come to the end of the road. We said we are going to charge 25%. No, there was a 100% figure. We broke it into 3 portions.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
50% first, 25, and then 25.
Okay.
Okay, understand?
Right.
So this is the agreement that we reached with them as far back as last year, May, June.
Okay.
And we went through the first phase, which ended December 2015. We started with the second phase, which is January 2016 to December 2016. And the third phase takes up 2017, January to December 2017. And then we'll move from there.
Right. I'll have you hold and let me pick one question from Danso. Mr. Danso, you heard what he said. He says it's not 500% increment, it's only 32%.
So I want to ask him, if I'm paying 70 Ghana cedi and it has raised to that 365 Ghana, how many percentage is it?
What car are you using? Because he said it's based on...
I'm using a taxi now.
Okay.
It's a Nissan Match.
Okay.
So if I used to pay 70 Ghana cedi and it has raised to 365 Ghana cedi, how many percentage is it?
Mr. Ray, you want to provide some answers to him?
Well, I think I have an idea of where he's coming from.
Okay.
I think I have an idea from where he's coming from.
Right.
That is why, yes. Basically, what is happening is that, as I said, he had this issue taken off sometime in July.
Okay.
So what it presupposes is that if he renewed his policy sometime January, February of 2015, okay?
Right.
Then what it simply means is that when the new tariffs took effect in July, he has paid the old premium.
Okay.
You understand? Yes.
Right.
So it means that the new premium, which we would say has now gone up to 25, in this case, is probably something else. I understand where he's coming from.
So how does he seek redress? Because if that is not the case and has to be charged this way, how does he adjust to this situation?
No, well, basically, you know, one of the important things is that he must ask himself the question of what are the benefits that he is getting or what liability is being picked up of him for the amount of premium that he's paying.
Is your insurance third party or comprehensive?
It's a third party insurance. And I'm asking the percentage from 70 to 300. How many percentage is it?
That's definitely more than 32%. And that's what Mr. Reid is
trying to explain. So I want to know the exact percentage. We don't know the percentage why.
So Mr. Reid, where is this confusion coming from? Because if
there is no confusion. Listen, there's no confusion.
Okay.
I'm just explaining something.
Right.
Here. Take it that initially you were paying 100 Ghana.
Okay.
70.
Then your policy runs from January to December.
Right.
Okay, and then 100 Ghana is what you are paying.
Okay.
Then somewhere in May,
right,
it is increased to 150 Ghana.
Okay.
You have already paid your 100 Ghana. So those who start from May are the ones that are going to pay the 150 Ghana.
Okay.
Good. Then we come to January, and then we increase it to what? 200 Ghana fee.
Okay.
So you are now going to pay the 200 Ghana fee. So far as you are concerned, you are going to pay what? 100% increase.
Yeah, because you used to pay 100.
The one who was paying the 150 is now going to pay only 50. You understand?
It's going to pay how much?
50 cedis.
50 cedis.
Yes,
okay, so then he has 50% increase.
That's what I'm saying, that the problem, that I understand where he's coming from, but he must not look at it, you know. And also, what I'm saying is this, that if he says he's, what do you call it, he says he was paying 70 cedis.
Right.
I'm yet to know what category of risk he's talking about, because unfortunately, I don't have those figures available now.
Okay.
I don't have those figures available now. Or else I would have been able to look at what actually the situation was and then tell him exactly what it is today.
So, Mr. Reid, clearly it looks like there is some miscommunication, or probably they need to be reoriented more to understand how this thing works. What can we do about this? Because it looks like there is some misunderstanding somewhere.
Well, so far as the leaders are concerned, this matter can be resolved. I don't think it's there isn't any difficulty here. It's just a question of trying to explain the situation on the ground and then take it from there.
The other issue is that they're complaining about hard times and they feel that the increase is too much. Is there something that can be done to help bring this a bit down?
My dear, you recall not too long ago, somebody was slapped with a figure of 10 million Ghana cedis as a claim that must be paid.
Okay.
Somebody who was in a Tico car.
Right.
A Tico car, who paid 31 Ghana cedis as how would he have responded if he did not have insurance and he was asked to pay 10 million to the state?
Okay.
I mean, we should come to understand, yes, we all appreciate that times are hard. And the times that are hard is what has put us all in the situation in which we find ourselves in. The demands that are made at the end of the day by claimants, you don't have an idea. Now, let me just take your mind off a little. I don't know if you would remember. I think about 2-3 months ago, the court ordered one company to pay compensation of 4 million to one young guy that had his fingers cut at the factory. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do.
That's right. That is part of the liabilities that we're talking about here.
Right.
This is something that insurance will have to take over. You understand?
Right.
So we are talking about a pool where we are collecting bits and pieces from everyone, take care of the few that will suffer the losses.
So, Mr. Reid, when do you intend to meet these people again to resolve this matter?
Well, the problem is that, you see, this is one of the problems. It is not the issue of going out there and talking. We do that. As I said, we have already met. We met as far back as last year.
It looks
So
like
if
it
there's
didn't work, so you need to meet again.
No, but if there's any issue, come back to us. I mean, why go and then make the noise out there? Come back to us and tell us that, look, we agreed on something. What went wrong? We said, no, that was not the agreement. This and this is how it's supposed to have been implemented. We'll judge and then we come to some understanding.
Well, many thanks to you, Dr. Edgar Redu, for your time. We're really grateful for your time. You heard Mr. Redu. He says that, why are you going on strike? You've not come to them. They started the discussion with you. They concluded, and you feel you don't understand. Why haven't you gone back to them and decided to take the last resort, the strike?
But why should the Insurance Commission to ignore the ministers? That means they didn't respect the minister.
So do you think that going on strike is the best? Why don't you go to the ministry, petition the minister, or probably go back to these people to sit by the negotiation table and see what comes out?
My dear lady, we went and sat down. It didn't work.
Well, he's saying that, why are you not coming back?
We are not
to
going
them?
there again.
So you think that going to the Ministry of Transport too is a bad idea?
My dear, this letter that I'm holding, it came from the chief director from the ministry.
Okay.
So what are we going to discuss again?
So what next after your strike on Monday?
If they didn't reduce it, we are going to form our own insurance.
Okay, and stop dealing with them.
Stop dealing with them.
And how long will that take? It's not easy to do insurance. You have to go for licenses and all of that.
It won't take too long.
To have the license to be able to.
It won't take too long.
So you will do that?
We will do that.
You have what it takes to do that?
Oh, madam, we've prepared to do it.
Well,
because you see what transpired. He could have tell me the percentage from 70 Ghana to 307.
But I think he explained something.
It's not an explanation. He said it's not more. It's not the 500% we are saying. So from 70 to 365, how many percent is that?
Well, this is a conversation
is it 32?
To be continued.
Is it 32%?
Like he said that it's done based on your risk and all the other things that based on the condition of your car and what you are getting from the insurance.
We've paid insurance. I've paid about 10 years now. I haven't caused any accident to them. So what are they compensating?
That's all time will allow us. Many thanks to you, Charles Danso, for coming on today's big story. We've been talking about this issue of the increment in insurance, and you heard the insurance consultant. He says that they should come back to him, but they say they're not going and they'll go on their strike. We'll wait and see how it unfolds. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. Good evening.